Welcome to section 2. In this section, we are going to discuss how web applications work. Let's start with a high-level diagram that explains how web application works. Let's imagine we have a user, and this user is going to open the website google.com. So a user is opening his browser, typing in google.com in his search bar of the browser, and the next thing that is going to happen, this domain name is going to be transformed into the IP address that belongs to the domain name. Then the browser is going to initiate a request to the web server. Web server is actually just a computer that runs any kind of web applications. Then the web server is going to respond to the web browser with a kind of response. So the next thing a user is gonna see is actually front-end part of the web application. The front-end part consists of HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. HTML is actually allow you to structure the web page. CSS allows you to add styles to this structure, and JavaScript allows you to work with the content of the web page dynamically. Let's not stick here for a long time. We will learn all these technologies in detail in the next section of the lecture. So each front end is initiating requests to the backend. What backend is? Backend contains apps logic. It could be written on different scripting languages like .NET, Java, PHP, JavaScript, etc. For example, on the front end, you can display a list of products, but this list of products is gonna be a static one. Let's say today you wanna show a list of shoes, but tomorrow you would like to display a list of dresses, or for example, you wanna change price, etc. Usually all this kind of content is stored in the database. For example, MySQL or Postgres, it doesn't matter for now. Backend is communicating with the database. For example, it can pull a list of products from the database and then respond to the front end with a list of products that you would like to display on the homepage of your eShop. Right now, let's take a look at the practice example. Let's go to the website amazon.com. So literally everything you can see right now on this page is front-end, part of the application. List of products, search bar, all these nice buttons, everything is about front-end. To be able to see all requests that front-end is initiating to the backend, we need to open the DevTools. In my case, I'm using Google Chrome, and I can click Option Command and I, or I believe I can navigate here in View, Developer, and click Developer Tools. I will open the same Developer Tools. Right now I need to navigate to Network, and let's click Refresh. So here I can see a list of all requests that frontend is initiating to the backend. For example, let's take a look at the first request. Here we can see that frontend sent a request to the backend to display the web page, but here we can see that it's actually an HTML page but without styles. We can click to response and we can see HTML page. So it means that actually HTML is rendered on the backend side. Let's go to the sign-in page. Here we can see the front-end part of this page. And for example, I would like to sign in. So what is happening under the hood? I'm gonna type in my email address. Once I click the continue button, the frontend is gonna send my email address to the backend. Then the scripts on the backend is gonna validate my email address if it exists in the database. And then backend is gonna respond back to the frontend, and it will either allow me to sign in or give me an error message. So that's one more example how backend communicates with frontend and database. So let's summarize once more. On this simple diagram, we have showed an example how web application works. A user opens his browser, then he can see frontend part of the application. For frontend to be able to display any kind of information, it initiates request to the backend. Backend pulls any kind of information from database and then responding back to the frontend. And frontend is displaying what we can see already on the page.